Hey, chat, can you hear me? Yeah. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Somebody say something?
Popcorn?
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Yeah? A very big bag of popcorn. American standard size bag of popcorn.
Good. Look, I can't help that we get freedom-sized bags of popcorn, alright? It's not my fault.
This episode is sponsored by Popcorn, the red bagged. Everyone, welcome to the Renegade Realm podcast episode. I don't know. Who cares? That's it. We're done. No, this will be good. Hopefully the stream is running better than it was before. I don't know. But who knows? Who knows? Oh, look, I just realized. Hang on, let me try this. Boom. Here, look. It's gonna have to be like this. It's just gonna have to be like this for a while. There we go. There we go. There's your audio. Sorry about that, chat. It's gonna have to say like this. I'll fix it whenever I can. Yeah, you can tell the rust is being shooken. Shout out to Grey Monad, Yadani Kazada, Jake, who has been gone for a long time. He's been a dad for a little bit, and once you go dad, you never go bad. I don't know.
Once you go dad, you sometimes break bad.
It's not true.
That's true. And yeah, let's see. And Jonas, that's it. Grey Monad and Risk It for the Biscuit, of course. And see, I'm trying to. Palpatine is here. Andrew Cullinane says, and Crash. Fantastic. Excellent. We're all good. We're back, and we have a guest, and it's not Assassin. So this is not Assassin's face reveal. I promise. I'll fix that text in a moment. We have that blue number, aka Holly, aka Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. How are you? Who are you? What have you been playing?
Hello. I am Holly, that blue number, obviously. I am normally on Xbox Infinite on Friday nights at 6 p.m. starting this Friday, Central Standard Time, because Midwest is the best. And I play a lot of games. And so that's what I do in my spare time. And I do boring work stuff during the regular part of the day. Boo. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Stuff. Let's go.
Let's go.
Love to see it.
I just want to shout out the video latency is a thing, guys, and that's just how it is. So Holly, you didn't answer my question, and are you ashamed to tell me that you've been playing a certain controversial game?
I mean, I play many controversial games like Fallout 76, which is eat the popcorn for that. Yep, there you go. That one's an angry point. But I've been playing the Call of Duty campaign. Is that what you're talking about? Bingo.
Yep. Let me. So we're gonna talk about that. How have you been feeling about it, though? I mean, you like it? I
like Call of Duty. It's my jam. In no way is it a 4. Just silly and ridiculous. It's definitely not the best of the current Modern Warfare series. It's probably the worst. Having said that, it's a solid play. It's not anything that you should skip because you've heard that it's bad. Still fun. It's still Call of Duty. It's still just an action sequence that you get to be part of, but they've made some changes to it that's not so great, but not too horrible either. It plays perfectly. I've had no bugs. I think there are some achievement popping bugs that are happening. I'm sure those will get resolved eventually, and one day you'll log in, you'll have 32 achievements from the game, which is always kind of fun. But it's good. It's Call of Duty, and I am like 5 minutes, I think, from finishing it, but I had to stop.
How many hours?
Yeah. So I'm not the fair comparison. Boba Fett Gaming said that he took about 5 hours to just mainline straight through the campaign. You took 2? 3? No.
I haven't played it, but I've heard it beaten in 2, and that's like people who.
I could see that. I could see that.
They are sprinting. I imagine that they're sprinting, but I've heard that it can be beaten in 2 hours if you're like just playing it on a normal difficulty and going through it.
Yeah, I'm playing it on normal, but the weird thing they did is they took out intel. Intel was kind of a cool thing to find, but now instead of intel, they've replaced it with finding field upgrades and weapons across the map in the loadout boxes that are in Warzone. And I tell you what, I spend 4 times the amount of time that each mission takes just walking around and trying to find the stupid loadout stuff before I can progress the mission. And I like looting and all that stuff, but I find it frustrating and tedious. A couple times I've just gone to the web and been like, all right, where are these things, right? And just run around the map and try to find them. Because if you advance that tiny mission too far, then you have to go back and replay the mission to go back and catch all of the things that you missed. And I don't want to miss any of that stuff. And I don't even know what it's for. I'm like, is this going to be something that in multiplayer it becomes an advantage because you did go find them all in the campaign? Or is it just like a congratulations, you found all of the things, here's an achievement? So
the way you're sounding it makes the game sound like you feel like it's a 4.
No, it's not. Like, Call of Duty is beautiful. Like, it is graphically stunning all the time, right? I just really don't like the change to sorry, I guess I'm louder than everybody else. Let me turn it down a little bit.
No, you stay. Everyone else
okay.
Come up.
I just don't like the change to the find the guns and find the UAVs and go find the stealth bomber perk over here, and I was not a big fan of that. It's too, like, Warzone should be Warzone, campaign should be campaign, and multiplayer should be multiplayer. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I have not played it. Holly, this is, you're probably gonna, this is like the first and only time you're ever gonna want to talk to me. Because
Block and delete.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe. I have not heard a single good thing about the campaign other than it is Call of Duty. And at this point, to me, that's not really much of a compliment anymore, because you can do it, but everything that I've heard about it, from the fact that it's DLC to people literally proving how it's meant to be DLC, the fact that it was, and I guess I'll go into more the dramatic side about it. You know, what I see the content creators talking about, which is, that it quite literally is tied to Modern Warfare 2, that you can't, like, launch the game without launching Modern Warfare 2 because it's meant to be a DLC, that the achievements were broken because it's meant to be a DLC, and they didn't even fix that. The 200 gigabyte download size, which is just
13.
And 13
So
because
ridiculous.
it's
so ridiculous.
It's because it's tied to Modern Warfare 2, and it's like pulling in all those because they didn't. And I don't even blame Sledgehammer, which I was very happy to see a lot of. If anybody's been following these stories pretty closely, most of the folks I've seen are not blaming Sledgehammer, because what it seems like happened was Microsoft bought Activision, the deal went through, and they knew it was gonna go. I feel like they knew it was gonna go through, and they're like, no, I did not spend this much money on you to skip a goddamn Call of Duty. You're making my Calls of Duties, and they did, and that's what they were able to come up with, because they were gonna go on a hiatus, or they were just gonna release the Modern Warfare 2 DLC was their original plan for the year. They weren't going to have another release, and so it put Sledgehammer in this really uncomfortable position. Hence the recycled Warzone assets. That's the other part of it. It's like, there's no new maps. There's none. Everything is recycled, even down to the campaign levels. They're just Warzone brought into Modern Warfare 3. So for me personally, like, I can appreciate that it plays and feels like Call of Duty. I think that's awesome because I haven't played Call of Duty since Advanced Warfare. That was the last one I played.
Ooh.
And I want.
You
I've
should
been
play
itching.
Infinite.
That's a long time.
You should play Infinite.
Yeah. I've been itching because I like that from time to time. It's nice, you hop in, you play, you lose because you're horrible at it and don't play it enough, and like you laugh and throw your controller and then you go to bed like it's a good day. And I've been craving that, but you know, I cannot justify based on everything I've been hearing. Oh, but it feels like Call of Duty. I can't justify spending $70 on a glorified DLC, and I don't want to. Honestly, I don't want to give my money to Activision. Like they always say, vote with your wallet. Like I don't want to give my money to Activision to say, hey, you could do this with, or said Black Ops 3, Modern Warfare 3. Give them my money and say, hey, yeah, you could do this with the next Treyarch Call of Duty or the next Infinity Ward Call of Duty. It's totally cool. No, not to. Am I still Damarco Daddy on Scream? Yeah, not to Damarco Daddy. No, sir.
Daddy DeMarco,
Well-
yeah, that's who you are. And sorry, real quick before we continue, Holly, if you could come down just a hair, and DeMarco come up just a little bit, and
I raised my microphone. I realized that my
Good.
microphone input for some reason was on 27, so I raised it to 70.
I mean, I think everyone sounds fine, but I want everyone to be happy and comfortable and cozy. And Jonas, you
Formerly
and by the
known
way,
as Nazim.
everyone, Assassin is here, everyone. I can't fix the overlay during the stream, so I'm sorry, but I'll
Yes,
do
you
it
can.
next time.
Studio
I
mode.
can't
Studio
because I
mode.
have to. It's too much. Because I have to add an input, and I do not want people to wait even for 30 seconds for me to do that. So I won't. But look, there's another guest that we have here today. This man named Jonas, who is taking Nazim's spot for this evening for a little while, as long as he can join us. This man is the one responsible for this overlay for every.
All of the fuck up with the lag and all, all of that
all
shit.
his fucking fault.
It's all my fault.
Yeah, so we brought him here to do a trial Jonas, you have made the channel, the show beautiful, and I said to you before the show, I could not have done it better myself, even if I knew how to do it, and so I'm so happy that you're here. So tell people what you are, where you are, and why you are.
Those are really big questions, man. I don't know where to start with this. I'm just a man over in Norway, 6 hours ahead of these guys. What was that?
Co-host of the Push Start podcast, coming soon. TM.
We'll see about that. Okay, we'll see. About that. I'll have to check my schedule.
Nice.
No, I'm just a man overseas doing really weird video stuff and playing video games and chatting with guys in America sometimes. That's what that's everything my tired brain can come up with right now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I tried to tweet this out. I forgot to tweet it out, but hey, we're here.
I can drag it out a bit more.
No, it's fine. Oh my God! Look, Happy Bomb joined. Wow, that's crazy. Become a mod. I'll see if I can do that. I'm kidding. Thank you so much, Happy Bomb, for being here. And I'm trying to get caught up. I want to make sure everything's running smoothly. But yeah, Jonas and Holly, thank you much. Thank you most. What's happening? Strokes are fun. Speaking of strokes, Assassin is here. He's in the background, and he's just stroking away, baby. Assassin, how are you? Well, all that stuff. Playing games? You like to play games?
Yeah, I do. Why do you have to make me sound like the pervert of the podcast? Like, what the hell, man? Just
I don't know,
what do you
man.
mean I'm stroking
Listen,
back here?
I don't know. ADD. I'm just trying to keep everything, going without parts.
You need to work on your segues when you're not working on the
It's
podcast,
been 3
man.
weeks, man. I'm rusty as hell. Yeah. So yeah, what you been into, man?
Yeah. Sorry, had a little something in my throat there. Hey guys, hey Chad.
Strokes.
I'm down here in the corner, taking over the role as Nazim this week. So I just have a question for y'all. Y'all get to the Normandy very often? What am I saying? Of course you don't. Happy Mass Effect Day, everybody.
I should
Anyway,
go.
let's see.
I should go.
Thank you. Oh, so good.
Okay, what games am I playing? Mainly it's been Lies of P ever since I beat Spider-Man 2 in like 2 days, so I've literally just been playing Lies of P, and I actually uploaded my first Rainbow Six Siege video on my YouTube channel, so yeah, that's all I've been playing lately.
Nice.
Are you a big Siege player?
Yes, ma'am, I
He
am.
is
I
the
have
Siege
been
player.
for 3 years.
I
Yep.
love Siege, but the community, oof. Oof.
I-
It's like, you think Call of
I have a
Duty's bad.
squad. I'm thankful that I have a squad of like 5 or 6 people that I play with almost every night. They're so nice. We get a little crazy. Some of them are crazier than Red on a good day, but yeah. If you ever want to hop on Siege, just hit me up and I'll link you up the squad, because we're pretty nice.
I really like Rainbow Six, but every time I've loaded in, they've turned and just killed me instantly. I guess because I'm like level 2. I'm like, alright. Forget
It takes time. It took me like
Yeah.
a year to get like very, very good, but yeah. It takes time.
Yeah. Time is of the essence. Damarco, what you eating, man?
What is worse? What is worse? The Rainbow Six community, or, and this, I know the answer to this, I'm asking you. The Rainbow Six community or the League of Legends community?
League of Legends.
League of Legends, all the way.
Just
Yeah, 'cause
checking.
They've been
Famous,
around longer.
so
It's
I've
like even
never
your
even played it.
Even your best friend on League of Legends is your worst enemy.
Yes.
That's how bad it is.
Damarco, what have you been playing? Have you been into any? I know you've been really busy, as have I. So not a whole lot of things. Not. Well, it's like whenever you have time to get into something, you're like, unless I have at least 3 hours, I can't really start anything because the immersion is gone. So where you been at with games, man?
No games, no fun. I legitimately have not. I just have not had time to play games. I have not, and the time that I have, I just did not want to. So, what I have done though is I just didn't want to sit down like in my desk and be staring at my computer screen this close. What I have been doing is I got through season 1 of Loki because I hadn't watched that, which is actually pretty good as far as Marvel TV goes. So that was pretty cool. But as for games, I will say the one that I have been able to sort of drop in and drop out of, which I finally beat for the first time since, let me find out when it came out. Hold on.
You finally finished the main quest of Skyrim.
No, I actually still haven't. No, even so, for the first time since 1996, I have finally finished the campaign of Heroes of Might and Magic 2, which
Ooh.
all of you babies on this show might not know what that is, even though I think I'm among the younger of people here.
Whatever you say, old man.
Thank you.
He's
Thank you.
older than he lets on. I did you ever watch Hawkeye?
No, I'm not going to.
Dude, I thought I wasn't gonna like it. It's the best. It's the best. And it's not because the blonde chick. I always forget her name.
It's
Whatever.
just so good you can't.
Florence
even-
Pugh?
That's her. That's her. Yes. Yeah. She. Sorry, I'm distracted. That was a good time to get distracted. Yeah. So.
Woohoo!
Thank you. So yeah, it's really good to be back. Shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you all so much for being here. I just did it in text and then I said it with my mouth. So there you go. That's for your ears. What the hell was I gonna say? You know what? Let's just talk about Modern Warfare again. So what I really wanted to ask everyone, and I'll go to you, Jonas, because you are the farthest away, and you're like ahead of us in time, so you might have knowledge that we don't have yet. So
That's a lot. That's right. I live in the future.
that's how that works. So what I wanted to know, okay, so Holly, let me bounce this off of you, and then I'll bounce it off of Jonas, and then we'll just bounce around together. How many hours do you have so far in Modern Warfare 3 again?
10, maybe?
10 hours, and you haven't finished it yet.
No. Very
Okay.
close.
So this
Very
is my point. I'm trying to be a dick. So whenever I play any single player game, I don't rush through it. I if I'm really enjoying it, I really want to like absorb as much out of it that I can, and take my time with it and have a good time and not rush through it. That's pretty much the baseline. So for reviewers, I understand that there is a time crunch, and I talked to a few people that reviewed Starfield, and I've heard people now that the NDA's up and whatever that felt like they were rushed whenever they were playing Starfield, and that really ruined their experience, because that's a really big game. You have all this time to put into it. You feel rushed, and it's like, what do I need to get done? What should I get done to sort of build a cohesive outlook on the game and how I feel about it, versus a Call of Duty campaign that typically is 5 to 8 hours, depending on how you play it. And then some reviewer comes out from IGN, and some curly-headed fuck. I'm just kidding. I love you, Derek. I think his name is Derek. And he rushes through the campaign because, I guess, listen, I'm assuming a lot. Okay, so, but it's a review, so they fly through it and then say, "I beat it in 4 hours. It's bad." Cold. I'm sorry. So my point is, rushing through something just to get a review out and then being angry that you beat it so quickly, that's your fault. So I'm not defending this, but as far as the length of a Call of Duty campaign, I am not surprised that someone beat it in 4 hours is all that I'm saying. So to hear that you're still putting time in it 10 hours later, that is a testament to my point.
But is it quality hours?
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You
Right.
said you were spending your 10 hours, you were trying to run around and find collectibles that weren't very interesting collectibles.
Yeah. And that is a very valid point. That's the only reason I have that many hours in it, is because I wanted to go find those. Right. It's very attainable. It's a very quote unquote easy thing to do. You just have to put the time into it. And I didn't want to come back later, because as soon as multiplayer hits in 36 hours, I'm in, right? Like that's where I'll be. Plus I have Alan Wake 2 that I just started, but I really want to like get into it, right? And so I was like, Call of Duty short, let me just burn through it. And it's taken me way longer because of that. And it's not, to your point, quality time, but it is time that I'm willing to put to it because I want to do that. But
okay. So
but to be fair, it probably would have taken, depends on what mode you're playing on, right? But if you're just doing basic normal, 4 or 5 hours is probably standard. But all Call of Duties are 5 to 7 hours.
You read, and that was sort of my point.
Yeah.
So Jonas, we know that this game, for a fact, was supposed to be DLC. I even said that maybe Bobby Kotick on his way out was like, we need to get something out for Microsoft, or on the other hand, it was, don't worry about it, let's not work as hard, just whatever, they're gonna buy it anyway. And the comparison that I made, FIFA, NBA 2K, all the sports games they get released every single fucking year for full price, and all it is a refresh roster in a shitty campaign, and people still buy it and no one complains. So the first time,
A lot of people complain. The problem is a lot of people also complain and buy it.
That's the point. So Jonas, it's your time to talk. How do you feel about this? I am curious, because you love Call of Duty. You play it every day.
That is exactly true. I play. I've not played it. I'm not a big Call of Duty player. I didn't really like grow up playing the campaigns or anything. My relationship with Call of Duty is mostly coming over to a friend's house and playing split screen, and in modern times playing the battle royale with a group, like in different periods of time when we're all into it. So personally, I don't have a horse in this race, to put it that way. But I definitely see the issues people are bringing up around it. It definitely feels like something that isn't worthy of being like a full product you should pay full price for, is what I'm taking away from what people are saying.
Okay. Well, that was really
It's 100% a DLC.
Yeah.
100%. Mhm.
a DLC sold as a full game essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is interesting. Assassin, you're the shooter boy over here. Now, I really want to know. Tell me, give it to me straight, Doc.
I haven't played it, Red. And I'm not going
but
to.
it's the
I'm
prospect
not supporting
of...
this.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm not supporting the $70 DLC. I'm not doing it. And I have to agree with
Why?
the rest of the community, like Damarco, you did. Like you said earlier, I don't blame Sledgehammer for this. I completely blame higher ups at Activision for releasing this. This is the type of game that I really don't think should be the norm at all. Like, this game shouldn't... If it was going to come out, they should have just kept it like it was supposed to be, which is DLC. They should have just kept it that way. There's really nothing else that I can say that the rest of you haven't said already. It's just, when it comes to Game Pass, I'll play it then. I mean, nowadays, I mainly just play Call of Duty for the campaigns. I don't really play for multiplayer, because we talked about it earlier, Siege is my main focus. It's my main first-person shooter. I stick with 1, maybe 2. I'm really liking the finals. Off topic a bit here, but... I don't know, there's really nothing else I can say that you guys already have.
Does anyone else have a problem with the fact that Call of Duty is one of the only games that gets separate review scores for the campaign and the multiplayer? Like,
They did that for Halo, though.
Did they?
Hey, they did it for Halo Infinite,
IGN
yes.
specifically.
Mhm.
Alright, well, does anyone else have a problem? I hate that practice. I think that is the dumbest thing, because I'm not spending $65, $70 to get one or the other. And I know that I get it. There's a mentality that, well, people only really play the multiplayer anyway. But a lot of people don't. So, and I get that's why you might want to segment your review, because you are trying to target those two audiences. But at the end of the day, I am paying $70 for both, for this complete package. And the fact that they get rated as separate entities, I don't know why. I can't put a word to it, but I have such an issue with that. I think
it has something to do with all of us coming up
dirty.
from a time where we got a full experience on a disc, and we paid for that physical thing, and
that was
everything on that is the same package. Like, it's
And to your
Can
point,
you imagine if they reviewed Deathloop that way? Like, one review for the single player and then another one for the multiplayer?
or Elden Ring.
Or they just do that naturally?
Yeah.
Elden Ring, the Souls genre, Final Fantasy, I think, has had a couple multiplayer. Like, imagine they do that with World of Warcraft. That just seems so stupid.
And I
you can
didn't
play
buy
these games
Black Ops
alone.
3. I didn't buy Black Ops 3 because there was no campaign. I was like, I'm not spending $70 for a game that doesn't have a
Same,
campaign. Are you
same.
crazy?
Yeah.
Was it 3 or was it 4?
It was
'Cause I thought
4.
3 did have a campaign.
Was
Yeah,
it 4?
It was 4. 4 had the blackout. 3 was whenever you got your arms crushed in the beginning of the game. It became it was really, really brutal. Yeah, 4 was when they introduced the battle royale-ishness with blackout mode. Yeah.
And they were trying to charge for it, right?
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah, they were trying to monetize it even after charging full price for the
Yeah.
video campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I hear, if you want to look at a good first-person shooter that has a great campaign and multiplayer, that you should definitely look up to. This is from what I hear. I never played the game. Titanfall 2 apparently is one of the best campaigns ever. Has a great multiplayer, so much that even years later, people still playing the game are like telling Respawn, "Hey, fix the servers. We want to keep playing it."
Mm-hmm.
It's just
For Titanfall 2?
what?
Yep.
Titanfall 2, yeah.
Titanfall 2 was an amazing campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's still
I need to
probably
play
the
it. I really do.
best-
It's really good.
The best first-person campaign I've ever played in my life. Like, still to
Really?
this
Have
day.
you not played Wolfenstein?
Well,
Really? Even
Yeah.
over Halo?
Halo's great, but it's not like it didn't change my life. You know, like
Wolfenstein 1?
it's great.
Neither did Titanfall, because the word Titan's not in your name.
Titanfall 2 made me cry, and they did things halfway through that game, like 70% of the way through the game. For anyone who hasn't played it, not gonna spoil it, but that I was like, what the fuck? This is amazing. What is it? Risk it for the biscuit says, gotta bail blue, looking amazing. Red, what is with your hair? Messy, dude, messy. Speak soon, you guys. My hair is really a mess right now. I know it's really. But what the hell were we talking about? Red, can you bring your mic up?
Yeah, Riskit's comment. Yeah, Riskit's comment. He said, "You haven't played it. How do you know?" I was like, "Well, Riskit, I talk to people who tell me that. That's how.
Is that better?
That's what I even said.
I'm
I
just
never played it.
testing.
I just said that I know people who have, and people have told me that it's the best first-person shooter campaign ever. So
Okay.
I don't know what you want me to say, bro.
I stand behind. I think best first-person shooter campaign, Wolfenstein 1. Or alternatively, I like Wolfenstein 1. I still think Wolfenstein: The New Order, rather, it would take the top spot for me. But I also do think that Black Ops 2 was really Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 and World at War were both, I thought, fantastic campaigns.
Did you cry though?
Why do I have to cry for it to be the best?
Because you have to cry to feel something. Were you not crying? Were you crying when you were killing Nazis and you're like, "This is beautiful"?
Have you played it? Have you?
I have.
Wolfenstein?
There
you
was.
You know General Death's Head in the beginning of the game, and he's there in the room with you, and he's doing the thing with the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Oh,
you got-
yeah.
You got your friends that are hanging out there, and
that's great. That is great. Yeah, it's very satirical and very Quentin Tarantino-ish, and it's fun. It's good. But I think there was a moment in 2 that I was like, that escalated quickly with family stuff.
Mhm.
2,
But-
2. I have a problem with 2 and the way it ended, but that's a whole side.
Yeah,
tangent.
I have a problem with 3 that it exists. But what's up? That's not even. God, that
Yo,
made me so
Arcane Realm
Yeah,
says in the
dude.
chat, "I'm with Damarco. Wolfenstein is the GOAT. I'm gonna have to put you in your place, Arcane. Your name is Arcane. You're not allowed to like Wolfenstein. You're only allowed to
Whoa.
like Dishonored, Prey, and Deathloop and Redfall.
Great.
So you gotta
Dishonored
pick
is
from
my
those 4, bro.
Dishonored is my second favorite game of all time. So
Really?
I'm
You
Really?
and
Wow.
Are gonna be best
Arcane
to
is like
follow
my
Arcane
favorite
Realm, 'cause
studio
he-
by far.
You should go subscribe to the
And he-
Arcane Realm.
Subscribe to Arcane Realm. Yeah, he covers a lot of Arcane Studios.
Really?
work.
BioShock's my favorite,
Yeah, he does.
and
He's best
Dishonored is my
friends.
second favorite.
He's best friends with Dinga Bakaba. They hang out on the weekends.
He said, "Pfft." I love BioShock so much, so I've never broken a disc since I was like 7 years old or something. I bought the BioShock collection,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
I've never.
Yes.
So it deletes your save. It like deletes your progress. And I was at
I
Fontaine.
didn't have that problem.
Oh my god, you lucky.
Because I had that same disc. I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, and it happened multiple times, and I was all over Reddit, like looking. Everyone's like, "Yeah, it's whenever you're trying to find the perfect picture for was it Fontaine?" Whatever. But anyway, my game kept fucking up, and I was just like, "Dude, this is anus." So I broke my disc. I was so mad because I love it so much. It's like,
It's so good.
yeah, that's how you know.
So good.
So what is Damarco wearing? What is that? Mountains on his back? Oh, is that a Christmas sweater? Oh, look at that. Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
all right.
Hey, that's my house.
I got everything. I got everything we've been talking about right here. Wolfenstein, Black Ops 2, BioShock.
Shout out to Jonas with the reindeer in his backyard. Great.
Dude, if I just lived a little bit further north, that could be the case.
You ride one to work.
Yeah.
I could. You don't know.
Do you have snow yet, Jonas?
Yeah. Up in the mountain peaks, we do have snow already.
Okay, but hasn't touched you yet.
No,
Did snow touch you?
it has.
Show me-
It
show
has.
me
Yes,
where snow-
it has yet to touch me.
Okay. All right. Show me on the doll. So let me get. Sorry, let me get this pulled up. So let me end this poll. Speaking of the North and the polls, let me end this one. I can't get it to end. It won't end. It's fine.
It ended.
Did it end? Okay, it looks like
Mhm.
everyone doesn't care, pretty much. 50% say I do not care. And no one loves Lamp. Are you guys serious? Come on. Well, there you go. Any other thoughts on Modern Warfare 3? Just the idea of
That's
it.
the question.
Yeah. Ask me, little mama.
With how poorly received this one has been, and apparently there's going to be like Call of Duty Gulf War is the rumor. Do you think that Microsoft will delay that one, or maybe like the year after, or even 2 years down the road
Which one is
until they get it right?
With the next one, you mean?
Apparently the next one, yeah, the next one coming next year. It's rumored to be Call of Duty Gulf War. It's apparently
I don't-
called.
Oh yeah, I
don't
saw
think
that.
so.
Do you think they will delay it or cancel it or what?
No. I think they'll stick to it, and the reason why is because we have to keep in mind, like, this was Sledgehammer kind of getting thrown into this project to make this Modern Warfare 3. But who would it be by? It would be Treyarch probably, right? Would be the next one.
Yeah, it's Treyarch.
So-
Yeah, it's Treyarch.
So they've had, they've had the 3-year development cycle to make their next Call of Duty title, or longer. I don't know how long. I mean, they have 3 studios, so I would assume if it's annual, then every 3 years they're coming out with one. I don't follow it that closely, but they've had their full development cycle. I don't think they'll push it off, to be honest, if they don't absolutely have to, because that is, and especially now that they're under the Microsoft umbrella, it's going to be the title that they say, hey, look, we got Call of Duty, and we're yet to see if Microsoft starts pulling, I'm going to call them shenanigans, I'm not a fan of it, but shenanigans is a nice term, but if they start pulling any shenanigans like, oh yeah, it's on PlayStation, but like, here's all the extra good stuff on Xbox if you play it here, and they might want to do that to keep up with because Xbox right now, I think generally speaking is at least has a higher consumer value, higher consumer trust at the moment than PlayStation, seeing as how PlayStation, you have all the things going on with Bungie, you have the fact that they're transitioning to live service, and you had a great release with Spider-Man 2, but honestly, it just seems like from the top down, Sony's making a lot of silly decisions, while Xbox is, Xbox is having a lot of wins. They're having a lot of wins, it seems, lately, so I think that yeah, Call of Duty, probably still coming.
If they did delay it for some reason, whether it's quality related or something else entirely, how weird is it going to be for everybody who's so used to Call of Duty releasing every year? Because haven't they released it every year since like 2007?
Mm-hmm.
That's breaking a 16-year cycle. It's just.
But don't you think it
would
needs
feel
it?
weird not hearing it or seeing it.
But they were supposed to break it this year.
Exactly.
Right.
They were supposed to. And it was going
And-
to be filled with DLC.
And Phil said 2 things. He said, number one, that he was interested in seeing every 2-year cycle instead of every single year. He said that way back, right, when they first announced. And then he also said, and this, I think kind of sucks. He said that Xbox people would not get anything different than anybody else. He said, I don't like that Sony PlayStation fans have been able to get like an operator or a skin or something like that because they had the marketing rights. They've done all that stuff. He said, everybody's getting exactly the same thing. Nobody's getting anything special. And I'm like, well, that kind of stinks a little bit if you're playing on Xbox, because we've dealt for years, right, with Call of Duty and PlayStation having some extra stuff.
And
But-
makes the world go
Well,
away.
they do have
Doesn't
one
make-
benefit,
Yeah.
people on Xbox and PC. It'll be on Game Pass day one. It won't be coming to PlayStation Plus day one.
Right.
Right.
That's
sure.
really
right.
the only benefit.
Right. And it's a benefit. It's a good benefit, right? Especially this year. If you didn't want to spend $70 on the glorified DLC, then you're not. You're
And you
playing
didn't
for.
lose anything.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So fun. So that's fun. I mean, we've seen the backlash. Well, when a game so popular, like for example, after Black Ops 4, I can't believe you didn't release with no campaign. What came after that? I mean, they continued with the campaign, obviously, but what was it? What came after Black Ops? Was it Advanced
Was it
Warfare?
World War II? Was World War II before?
It was
Wasn't it?
no.
Advanced?
So Black Ops 4 came out in 2018. Modern Warfare 2019 came the year after,
Mm.
Not after Black
if
Ops
I remember
4.
correctly. Was it?
No.
Cold
that's
War?
what-
Hold on, let me
Palpatine
look.
said Cold War, maybe. So World War II
Cold
was before
War-
Black Ops, right? I think it was.
Yes, I think that was the 2017 one. Let me
Mhm.
double check.
So a Cold War, I believe, was like 2021 or something, and it was incredible. I don't know if anyone's played that. Holly, did you play the campaign for that?
I did not. I skipped.
2020.
I skipped Vanguard and I skipped
Cold War is so. I can't say anything. It's one of those Black Ops-esque things that happen with that story. It is so good, and it just.
Well, guess what?
It's so
I'll play it in Game Pass in February.
It's coming, baby. It's coming. Yeah. So, yeah. So, anyway, so they hear us. They hear the people screaming and crying right now, and it's gonna be fixed. And Call of Duty, Colt says. So anyway, enough about Call of Duty. It's a game. Everyone loves it, even if they hate it.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's okay.
There you go. He's spoken into the universe. It's gonna be fine. So, does anyone remember a good old game from a tale of yore? No. Yeah. Vampire the Bloodlines. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines from 2004. Remember that?
I remember watching people.
No,
Okay.
I remember watching Dora the Explorer when it came out.
That was good. What year was that, Assassin?
That was 2004.
Okay. How old were you?
It was
then?
like 5 years old at the time.
I had you on
It
my
was
knee.
5.
I was bouncing you around. Is that what you do with babies?
And you made it weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you made it weird.
So, anyway, this game.
I should go.
This game is what we would define as a cult classic. And way ahead of its time. This game released around the same time that, of course, KOTOR, another game that's way ahead of its time. Incredible RPG in the Star Wars universe. So, Vampire the Bloodlines Masquerade essentially takes place in the world of darkness. It was first and third person, hubbish, open worldish kind of, in the city of New Orleans, or I think it was New Orleans. Anyway, very dark environments. Like I said, the game in every way was way ahead of its time. So there was some new details on this, and I guess before I go into the details, have you guys been following anything about this game, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2?
I know that it exists.
No, but I did watch a Legacy Killer HD video recently that did mention Vampire Bloodlines 2.
And he's
recently.
like, I hate everything, and everything's bad all the time. He does great coverage.
Well, he's not
a
wrong.
He's a friend of the show. No.
It wasn't this thing
No, he's
announced
not.
and then had a lot of issues and it was put off.
Yeah, and like everyone got
Yeah.
fired, and like everyone was
Right.
doing drugs and stuff. I don't know if the drug part is real, but it was like really
Yeah, but the
bad
studio
stuff.
had a lot of issues, right?
Yeah, had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
They came to like a complete standstill in terms of development because of all the layoffs and the like the director of the game left, and they had to like switch stuff there. But it seems to be doing well now, and they have a clear direction of where they want to go. And there's a lot of details that came out about the game as an RPG fan that I was excited about. We don't have to go too deep into it, but essentially you are an elder, a vampire. By the way, is anyone familiar with the World of Darkness? So this is like Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage Ascension, Hunter the Reckoning. None of that? God, you guys are nerds. All right.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we really?
I'm sorry. Basically, fuck this. What else is going on in the news?
So to wrap that up, good for them for
That was good. So good for
getting
them
back
for
on
having
track.
a game,
Yeah.
and the game's coming, and it's gonna be cool and fun. What did you talk about, Holly? Did you bring anything that you want to talk about? Anything interesting in the world? This is good. Chat, let
Yeah.
us know.
Vampire
Is
the
this good content?
Masquerade.
That's it. That's
Oh,
what's
Vampire
been
the
going on.
Masquerade, Damarco? Okay.
I would need to. I need to see more of it. Because I've watched a playthrough of Vampire the Masquerade. Now I feel like if you try to go back and play it, it's really hard. Like harder than Morrowind, hard to play.
Isn't there another vampire one that's supposed to come out soon? They announced it.
They had a. You might be thinking of the battle royale that they released.
Yeah, that's Blood Hunt. Yeah.
And cancel within a year.
And
Yeah.
They canceled it.
Yeah, they canceled it because
Or shut it
was-
down.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was not doing very good at all. So you can't blame them too much, but you kind of can because they should have tried to do a battle royale. But no, yeah, Bloodlines 2. I remember when we saw the teaser. I'm curious how different it's gonna be from that initial video like that they showed off. I don't even remember. Was it gameplay? Was it just a teaser? Was it cinematic? It's been so
So there was a
long.
new gameplay trailer that got released like a few weeks ago. And if anyone feel free to go watch it while we're on the show. It's very short, but it looked really good. I was like, holy effing F.
It did.
I watched a few minutes of it, Red.
When
Yeah.
they initially showed it off, it looked really cool as well. Like the first time it was revealed, I was like, "All right, sick! I'm a vampire fan now." Like,
Suck
go watch
me,
all
suck
the
Now
me
it just
out.
looks like Fallout 4.
Please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's isn't that what they say? Suck me. Well, I mean, I feel like the first trailer that we had was more conceptual as far as what we saw, but it did give you a good idea of what it could be. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's hey, Arcane, it's Dishonored except it's vampires." But really, I mean, there is gameplay out there that you can see from what I am. Arcane Realm. Oh, bye, buddy. He's gone. He can't hear me. But yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes because again, it was first and third person, and you guys know how I feel about that, and it makes me really mad when they take away that. But it looked really brutal. But the RPG elements. So they did say someone on the team. I can't remember the team. I'm terrible. Said that they are taking notes from things like Baldur's Gate and bringing consequences to the game that are like you can just like fuck up everything right off the bat if you really want to do that, and that is in line with the way that the first game was. So we'll see how choice and consequence play into that. But
Wait,
I don't know.
is the gameplay like 50 minutes? Is that?
Is there
52
more
minutes?
gameplay than I thought? And I'm a dumb.
Unless it's World of Darkness. There's
The one I saw was like 10, but I have a question, Red.
Oh no, that might just be them talking about it. Oh wait, is this even?
Red,
Yeah.
Red, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did they mean to make it look like Fallout 4?
Is that so? I've been hearing about that. A shout out to Paris. Is that Paris Lily?
That is Paris Lily. Hey, what's up, bro?
crazy. Paris Lily. Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing. Let me know if you're really Paris Lily. I don't believe you, but if you are, that's amazing. Shout out to Roger and chat and Trace, who is also here. That's fantastic.
It is.
It is. We're all sorry. We're all stunned by your presence, Paris. Paris, we're talking about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 and what is going on with that. So so there's more gameplay. The Celtics. Oh, he's coming after you.
I know. It's a Twitter war that we have. It is the great Larry Bird, Magic Johnson reincarnated to now.
Can I take a second? Because I don't know if I'll have this opportunity in the near future, but Paris,
Please do
I just
it.
want to say that I have so much, I have followed you and your content and your channel and everything you've been doing, and I have so much respect for everything that you do and everything that you've tried to represent, both online, on Twitter, on some of the channels and podcasts and shows that you've done, the collaborations that you've done, and the messages that you try to bring to gaming. I just love and am truly inspired by your constant positive outlook and reflection on gaming and what gaming can be. So I just wanted to say thank you for continuing to be that positive voice, and I hope that all of us here can continue to speak in the future. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Yeah, but whose cooking is better, Damarco, his or Kaz?
Oh God, don't. No, I'm not doing that.
We're not doing this now. This is supposed to be emotional. We want tears.
So everybody, just send me a plate of food, and then I will judge it. I guess.
He will pair it with his giant bag of popcorn and see what
Yeah,
works
yeah.
best.
I'll mix it. I'll use this as my palate cleanser, and in between meals.
That is such a giant bag of popcorn.
I just thought that was a standard American size bag.
This
of
is
popcorn.
freedom size. Yes, we
Freedom
eat
size,
things
yeah.
In freedom size.
Freedom size is the small, just so you know.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
That's
right.
true.
We measure things in freedoms.
We use freedom units and freedom time.
Mm-hmm.
As
Oh,
opposed
that's
to a
fantastic.
backwater thing.
Right.
Do you still have your saltines near you?
Oh yeah, of course I got saltines. What do you think? I'm a savage?
Now, this episode is sponsored by Saltines. Get your saltiness at your salty leisure. All right. So, any Vajonas? Vajonas? Do you?
Right.
So, do you like vampires?
Like in general?
Yeah. You remember Blade?
Yeah. They're cool. Sure.
Yeah, man. That's good. Well, good. All right.
Blade is the best Marvel movie ever.
Dude, it is.
Writing it down
Might
right
just be.
now.
It
Yeah.
is. It
Wesley
is.
Snipes, amazing.
In the beginning, when he walks
I've
into
never
the club,
seen it.
Oh
my God.
shut your mouth. So good. Just log off now and go watch it.
There are so many things that haven't been done that you haven't done in Assassin yet, and you know, it's just
That
look,
I haven't done, I have not seen. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've touched upon Mass Effect, and you had the golden globe in your the golden globe, sure, the golden globe in your hand, and you let it go. But it's fine. So there are some things
Excuse
that
me if 2023 came along with bangers every single week.
There's no.
I picked the
there's
worst
nothing
time
better.
to try to get into Mass Effect and The Witcher, like this year.
There's no
If I had
bad
done
time.
it last year, I
There's
would have had a
no-
lot
there's
more
no-
time to do it.
There's no bad time to get into Mass Effect and The Witcher. So just let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
So what you're
It's
saying is
N7
Mass
day.
Effect is better than Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
without a
okay.
doubt, yeah.
Just get through the first one though, because you know it's an older game, even the Legendary Edition. Like, the controls are a little rough, right? But after the first one, like it all smooths out, and you just won't want to stop. You'll play all three, like boom, 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 and you
Yep.
might even go into Andromeda, which that's a whole nother discussion. But
That's a whole nother thing. You know
That's a
what?
whole
It
thing.
is N7 Day, and unless someone else has another topic, I do want to talk about Mass Effect. So today we got, I don't know if you guys have seen it, we got a 20-second teaser from Mass Effect. Here we go. He's putting it on. It's on. Turn on the lights. Are they on? Perfect. That's how headphones work, people.
Oh my god.
I love it. If you can just do the rest of the show like this. Well, as long as we're talking about Mass Effect, Yodani Kazada, Mass Effect. Paris says Mass Effect 2 is.
I should go.
Paris says Mass Effect 2 is 5 all time. I'm sorry. Am I having a stroke? Mass Effect 2 is 2. Mass Effect 2 is 5 all time,
Top
but the
5
rest is.
of all time.
Top 5,
Oh,
yes.
top 5.
yes,
I was like,
Yes.
I'm having it. This is
Oh
what a
my
stroke
God.
looks like on live air.
It's just 2-5
Um,
all the time.
Yeah, top 5. Thank you.
look,
Paris.
you made him type in top 5. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
It's true. I'm
Like,
sorry,
come
Paris. I
on,
should have
Red.
understood. I'm sorry. No, yeah, it's true. In Assassin, you will learn today. Everyone knows Mass Effect 2 is the greatest. So once you get,
It's the best.
and that's the thing. You don't even need to like. Once you get past, it's like someone saying like, well, should I watch this season of this show? And they go, once you get to season 17, that's when it gets good. And it's like that's not what we're saying. Mass Effect trilogy as a whole is amazing, but one in comparison to 2 and 3, it's a lot different. Once you get to 2, you'll see, my son. So please continue. Damarco is gone, but so did you guys get to watch this 20-second teaser today for N7 Day? Did you see that? Anyone?
I did
Yep.
not.
You sent me the link while we
I
were
did.
trying to get the things working, and I
Yeah.
did catch the video.
You go? Okay.
My only question is, who did BioWare hire from Bungie to make this design? Because that,
You
I'm looking at
shut
it again.
your
It
mouth.
definitely looks like a Destiny 2 character. It does. You
You
can't
need
tell
to-
me it doesn't. Especially after DeMarco brought in the whole, why does everyone have a coat with the weird collar? BS that
Oh my
Cyberpunk
gosh, he's
started.
got the coat too.
It looks like a
He's got the
Drell. It
N7
looks like
coat.
a Drell. Okay,
Amazing.
because the Drell do wear. Here comes the nerd. The Drell do dress that way. Very similar. Thane from Mass Effect 2, one of the greatest characters of all time. He does wear a popped collar, if you will. So it's a thing. It's a thing. So I'm calling it. It's probably a Drell, or it's Liara, and or just a new character named Nebula. Because the trailer is called Nebula. So I'm curious, chat. Did you guys see the trailer? It's 20 seconds long, so go watch it if you haven't. It's really nothing. It's just a character looking cool and walking away. And
When I saw the character in the video, like it's kind of dark, so the outfit is kind of obscured, and to me, with the helmet, it sort of looked like a driver suit. So I was like, is this like a Forza crossover event or something?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the gate is opening. We're going out to the driving range now.
You just hear,
so-
yeah, it's some black.
Exactly.
You're like, okay. Demarco, did you see this little teaser?
I did. I love. Did you listen all the way to the end when you hear they say I should go, but it's in Conrad Werner's voice?
I didn't hear that. No.
So he's gonna be supposedly the new protagonist.
Oh, so that was in the 21-second version, not the 20-second version that I missed.
They released a final version of it, and if you listen at the end, you hear "I should go," but it's Conrad Werner's voice actor saying.
Okay, so that was the big reveal then. So that's what we should have.
So
Okay.
Conrad Werner is going to either be the main character, or incredibly important to the story.
Okay. Well, good. So is he the curly-headed blonde guy that reviewed Modern Warfare 3? That's who they actually got to, the facial, the facial.
I have no idea
What?
what you're saying. What?
Good. Yodani Kazada says,
What?
"Gosh, it's called a duster." Yeah, guys, come on, it's called a duster. Yeah, the popped duster. It looks so cool though, and it says N7 on it. Holly, you have an affinity for Mass Effect. It seems.
I do like Mass Effect.
It
Yeah.
seems to be something that's near and dear to your heart. Did you play this when it came out? Like, how do you feel about Mass Effect? And how do you just the future of Mass Effect? Just tell me all about Mass Effect.
I like Mass Effect a lot. They perfected the systems into like the fueling and the traveling and all that stuff. I feel like they really screwed it up in the third one because I got really annoyed with the traveling stuff. Sorry, don't hate me. I didn't mind, the ending causes a lot of issues to people, right? But I was okay with it in my own way. Andromeda, put in the chat. Andromeda is not a bad game. It's a bad Mass Effect game, but it's not a bad game independent of Shepard and then, the whole Andromeda thing. I'm a little nervous where they're going to go with this. I totally think it's Liara. But I hope that they've had enough time to ruminate and think about the story and where they want to go. They've had plenty of time, but how much time have they put into it? We'll see. I really hope they give it the love that it deserves, because you know how it is when there's a franchise that's been dormant for a while and then they bring it back, like even in movies, right? Like if it's not perfect, the backlash is brutal. So let's hope it's good.
Yeah.
I think they feel the pressure, right? Don't you think they feel the pressure for it?
Yeah.
I think not only
Yeah.
is there pressure, but also keep in mind, to my understanding, they had planned to do more Andromeda stuff, and it seems as though, because even with those teases, they acknowledged Andromeda, right? Part of the tease was where they did mention that, you know, they got kind of a hail from Andromeda saying things weren't going right. So it was a little tease of Andromeda, acknowledgement that, you know, they're not completely writing that game off. And if you look really closely at the character portrait that was revealed, it's now Mike Gamble's profile picture, you can see what almost certainly is an Angara.
Oh, so you think
Yes.
that they're merging the
Interesting.
universes?
Somehow, I believe that's possible. Yes, I am so confident that you actually see an Angara in the backdrop. There's a Geth that like looks like a bodyguard. There's an Asari sitting down. There's a Geth wearing clothes, no less, which is, you know, if you played Mass Effect, that you didn't see that. But he kind of looks like that old, aged, you know, wizened kind of guardian wearing his robes. So you had a Geth, you had what very much looks like an Angara and an Asari all sitting together. Well, the Geth was standing and the Angara was standing. Only the Asari was standing. But anyway.
Damarco, do you think it's like, I think it would actually be a mistake for them to just pretend like Andromeda never happened.
They have to. They're going to. They have to.
I feel like they have to address it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where I was going with that really is that, you know, I think part of the pressure is they wanted to do more stories in Andromeda, and I don't think that was, other than DLC, in addition to DLC, I think there was more to Ryder's story. I think there was a lot more that they could have done. I liked Ryder as a character. I really appreciated seeing his arc. There's the one scene, it's stuck in my memory that I thought was really well done in Andromeda, where he's, you have Ryder giving one of his first commander speeches, and then all of the party members that are there just kind of walk away, and Ryder's just there like, all right, good meeting everybody, and they're all just leave. And it's such a nice contradiction to what Shepard was doing, where you have all of the epic speeches where you're picking what you want to say, and the music is beautifully panning up, and it's going to this epic chorus, and it's amazing. It was such a nice juxtaposition. So I liked Ryder. I want to see more of a story. I think that BioWare wanted to do more in Andromeda because there's so much potential to explore. I think that Andromeda did a good job setting the stage, and after Andromeda released, they said, all right, let's go back to something more familiar. Now, obviously, that's just me speculating, but I do think that they kind of said, let's go back to something familiar. There's obviously been some Shepard teases. We've seen Liara straight up. So we could bring back those characters. We could win some people back. There's been a long time the criticism that the old BioWare is dead. Mass Effect Andromeda, or Mass Effect, and we've been giving every single game kind of a pass, saying, hey, this could prove that they're not dead. This could prove that BioWare is still kicking, and they could still make a great game. And we didn't see that with Anthem. We didn't see that truly with Mass Effect Andromeda. We're saying it again for Dragon Age Red Wolf, and we're saying it again for the next Mass Effect. So these will be the games to show it. But I'm scared that pivot away from Andromeda might, if there's any cause for concern, that's where it lies with me. But I'm confident.
Yeah. Jonas, are you a Mass Effectian?
I have actually never played the Mass Effect games,
Well,
which
maybe
I
it's,
know will shock Damarco, but I will probably get
Don't
around
worry,
to
Jonas.
playing.
We'll go on this journey together.
Yeah, I will have to eventually. I will probably, in a different year with a few less extremely good games coming out every so often, I will probably get around to playing the remaster.
Yeah, it's on. Is it still on Game Pass? Well, I guess it is on Game Pass, right?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because
Play
EA.
with
Right,
Game Pass.
right. So and Assassin, I do want to get to your thoughts, but it's hard to talk about this too much. So without,
Yeah, I know.
without going into spoilers, this is a huge question. This is the question. So you guys already know what I'm going to ask you. Shepard. Now I'm Colt, and shout out to Colt.
I should go.
Yeah. Shout out to Peter. Peter's here. What's up, bro? Thanks for joining, man. And Colt even said Andromeda is set in the future, way after Shepard's story. So, well, Yadani Gazada said that poll was definitely made because Red Wolf is a Mass Effect. Is Mass Effect. Yeah, of course. So,
Oh god.
My question is, knowing what we know about Mass Effect 3, the destroy ending is apparently what they're going with as canon, and if we know how they revised the destroy ending, it being canon makes sense, is what I'll say for anyone who hasn't played it. So how I've always said, if you can picture in your mind the return of Shepard, it's so hard to talk around this. Look, I'll just say this: is Shepard coming back? Should they come back? My answer is absolutely they should come back, because it's a legacy character. Ryder was fun, and you know, I didn't hate playing as Ryder, but that felt like a more happy-go-lucky, fun Mass Effect journey, whereas Mass Effect was really, really gritty, and it had its dark tone, and it had this impending doom all the time with the Reapers. Like, it was just dark, and it had its moments of levity, and because there wasn't a whole lot of it, it felt more impactful, if that makes any sense. So, like, moments like, you know, talking with characters, and them having their, like Garrus, like he's like, I need to go I need to calibrate the whatever the hell. Anyway, would it not feel really, really weird to play as a new character, playing with Shepard's friends, and them talking about Shepard the whole damn game? And it's like, I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know, Ollie, how do you feel about that? Should Shepard come back?
The problem is, how does he come back? I mean, it's set like Andromeda's already way past Shepard.
The Geth. Remember?
He has already been through a lot. I think that they can space magic his way.
What about like a Shepard descendant or something like that? Like they took his DNA,
like a
or
Liara,
you know,
or Ashley baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Miranda.
I guess Liara might Miranda. Yeah. Well, that's where shit gets weird.
Yeah. But
Go ahead.
They have to either fully commit or not do it at all, don't they? Like if you put in Shepard's son or Shepard's grandson or something, and Shepard isn't there, it's gonna be a huge disappointment to people. It's gonna be such a big disappointment, and I don't think no matter what character, because even when Ryder showed up, right? Ryder was living in Shepard's shadow, and he had to outgrow that, and for a lot of people, he's not going to, right? He's just not. They could very easily do what Dragon Age did, which Dragon Age you have Hawk that does come back. And you can interact with them in Dragon Age Inquisition, and obviously characters like Varric had relationships with them, and Liliana, and all these characters know Hawk.
That's a great comparison.
That's the way that I would honestly see it going, and I think admittedly that leads to some very interesting perspectives, because what I would love to see is the developers. And it's not gonna go over 100% well, I can imagine, and depending on, it needs to be done very carefully. But what I think would be so cool is you actually start seeing people painting Shepard as this villain, and you're playing as a new character, an entirely new character. So you have some people painting Shepard as this villain, because obviously we know that at the end of Mass Effect there were really no good choices. Like even the green ending. There are some huge moral quandaries with the green and like really huge moral implications that are pretty bad with the green ending. So no matter what he did in that situation, it was kind of an F situation. So Fubar. So I would love to see people, like some characters painting him as a villain. Some characters like Liara obviously have tons of respect and admiration and even romance with him. And then you kind of get to play this middle ground, and you as a new character, obviously we as the player have history with Shepard, but your character doesn't. And how do the writers play off of that? How do they expand that? And how do they lean into it where you could maybe, subvert Shepard in many ways and kind of expose him for destroying civilization, pretty much.
Yeah.
Spoilers, what?
Go ahead, Jonas.
Was that a spoiler?
No. No, because
No,
everything's
okay,
fine.
okay.
Everything,
I
they're
just
fine.
came
They're
back
fine.
in, so-
It's fine.
It's fine, we're
Everyone's
fine.
fine.
It's cool.
No, Holly, I guess, Holly, you're the only person I can go to, even though I went to you again. So after all the words that have been said, how do you feel? Do you feel any different now?
Nah.
Okay, so do you want Shepard back?
I don't think I want Shepard back in a future story. If that makes sense. If they did some like pre-story or side thing or something like that where there was something from his timeline, yes, but that's not what we're getting here. So I would love to build a new relationship with a new protagonist that could extend for multiple games beyond this point.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I love Shepard. I love Shepard, right? But I can always go back and play those 3 games again.
Yeah, it's like I just feel like time has passed. It's been so long since we've had Shepard that it'd be like a Last Jedi. Shout out to Jedi Knight Peter in the chat. It'd be like so what did I keep like Last Jedi-ing things. You asked me about this in chat the other day. What did I mean by that? It's like it's whenever they reintroduce a character that's beloved and then they kill them. And
see, I wouldn't like that. That would be worse.
Right. So
yeah,
it's
don't
like
do that.
If they brought Shepard back and then they die and then they pass on the torch to some other character that you don't care about, then it's going to be worse whenever Mass Effect 5 or whatever it's going to be called. So it's hard. It's like, and I'm sure, and these are the discussions that have been happening within BioWare for a long time. I'm sure, like how the hell.
But don't you think that's why they're using like clearly Liara, right? It is moving forward. So like, don't you think that's why they're using familiar characters, but they're trying to start a new storyline in this universe so that they can prolong the life and do all of these new things in this universe and keep things moving along, but they're bringing some of the old characters forward to bring some comfort and that feel-goody stuff, right?
Yara,
yeah.
Shepard, Hawk,
Liara. Yeah. I mean, no. You're right, Damarco, and Holly. You do have a good point. Like, I think like my issue is that, because Shepard is like. It'd be like it's like The Witcher. It's like The Witcher has a very similar thing, but like The Witcher, I don't know. However you decide to play and end The Witcher, like I feel ready to move on from Geralt. But if I got more Geralt, I would be like, let's go, dude. Like I would be so happy. But with Shepard, it's like we kind of they left it hanging in such a way that like it could continue. It's like if it ended in a way that was like very Blood and Wine-ish, which I won't go into spoilers there because Damarco, then I would be okay with moving on from Shepard. But they didn't. They're like, if you think about how the way that trilogy ends, and where Shepard and everyone is left after that, it should continue with Shepard. They should come back and be like, that was a close one, but like not like that, obviously. But like, that was
Shepard
weird.
Sitting at the bar, like, man, that was crazy, bro.
He turns around, half his face is missing. He's like, "Are you okay?"
Hey, man, that was whack. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then you just
dude.
see him stand up and start doing his Shepard dance.
Yeah, exactly. He starts doing the old
Put him in Fortnite at that point.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess legacy character. It's hard with legacy characters. It's really, really tough. But for me, I would say I want Shepard back. 9 people in chat are saying yes, they want Shepard back. Let me see if I can catch up here. My opinion, no. CJ Stroud isn't. Udani Kazada says, no, CJ Stroud isn't high enough IQ. What is he talking about? Athletics and heart, they can only get you so far. The rest of the squad has to get behind him 100% for it to be consistent. Coaching can help. I have no idea what you're talking about, man, but I love you. Let's try to figure out what's happening here. Crappiest. Drawn TJ, what's up, bro? Thanks for being here, man. Peter, I hope that you are not buffering anymore. I'm sorry about that. Grey Mona says, stop talking about bells. Everyone's going crazy in chat. I love this. I love this so much. Oh, ignore my sports talk. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that I was like, I don't know who these people are. I was like, is that a character in Mass Effect that I don't remember? Probably. Chat, what do you think about Mass Effect? Even though I just asked you, don't answer me. Just ignore me. It's fine. Everyone wants Shepard back. It seems to be the consensus. Twitter today, all the Mass Effect accounts were blowing up. It was crazy. Yeah. What else do we have? What else do we have in the world of games or even movies or just anything else? Anything wacky and crazy that you guys found on the internet this week? That's just has nothing to do.
There is something that terrifies me.
My God.
Ow!
We'll do yours.
Yeah. Let's do you.
Go ahead.
No, it's just I have two, but Damarco, you go first.
Okay. Well, mine's a rant. That's the problem. I won't make it a rant.
Go ahead. I don't care, rant.
I'll
Okay.
spare
I don't
you.
care.
I have to pee, so I'll be right back.
There is something that terrifies me greatly that was announced, I think, on Monday. And some of you might know, some of you might not know where I'm going with this, but there is a worrying amount of people. I feel most people will agree with me, and I'm keeping it vague to add to the suspense. But most people, I think, generally would agree with the stance I take on it, but there are a worrying surprising amount of people who think this is good. And that is Microsoft has just signed a partnership with an AI company, which they've already had, right? They've already, if you go to Microsoft Bing, I know it's not Xbox, but if you go to Microsoft Bing, that's, they have their AI chat that's powered quite literally by ChatGPT. But Xbox and Microsoft's gaming division have partnered with an AI team to help bring that technology in order to help development processes, including but not limited to branching dialogue options, quest design, and storylines, and NPC creation, and to help facilitate all of that. Now, I don't know what everybody's stance on AI is. It horrifies me greatly with even just how far it's come in such little time. I think it's terrifying. But when it comes to gaming, and specifically the emphasis on that they want to use it for storytelling and they want to use it for characters, there is no instances where I think that AI can do it better than a person can. Because AI, of course, cannot create new things. It can only regurgitate and it can only plagiarize, basically. Not that a writer is not borrowing ideas from other sources, but they can put that human touch to it. Like, if you think about characters, there's going to be fallible elements. There's going to be inconsistencies to characters when they're written by a person because we as people are inconsistent. We are emotional, we are illogical most of the time. Versus an AI, which is going to follow a very strict set of rules. Now there's a couple caveats to that. One is they said that it's optional for the development teams, although I sometimes find that a little bit hard to believe because you don't invest a ton of money into a technology like this to say, nah, you don't have to use it if you don't want to, right? It kind of comes from the top down. They say, here's the thing, so we're going to train you and do extensive training to know how to use these properly and leverage it. So they say it is optional whether or not a studio wants to use it, and then they also say that it people's other arguments will generally be that it's supplemental. It's meant to help the process along. But even that, I fear, for the sake of creative energy, where, people who might be in grade school now or a bit younger than we are here, they don't need to think creatively, and they don't need to exercise that creative side of their brains, because they can just have, an AI kind of fuel that, as even when you get to the writer's room for developers, they can sit down and be like, oh man, I really can't think of this character and what they should be. Let's just plug it into the AI and we'll see what they get and we'll tweak it from there. And if people think that writing in games is tropey now, I find game writing and especially for story-driven games to be very hit or miss. Just when it's being handled by an AI, that's going to be exemplified a lot. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that. I could go on this topic for probably about 30 minutes just talking to myself, and I'm gonna try to avoid that. but I don't know if anybody has any thoughts about that. In general.
I'll say this, and then I'll pass it to Jonas. Hasn't spoke for a while, so let me just, and then we'll go to Holly. And
I'm just being Scandinavian, man. I don't make much noise.
it's right. The less that you move, the warmer you stay. Right? That's how they train you as a kid. It's like this. It's like the Spartans.
The less polar bears they attract.
That's right. They're like, just when it starts getting cold, just don't move or talk.
You think so, but it's actually the walruses that'll get you.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just say this at the very least, and I know that you, Peter, you're so sweet, and shut up. And I like how I text and say it at the same time. But at the very least, what they could do is what they have used words. Procedural generation is what Bethesda has used for a long time, just to sort of set up lay the groundwork for what they will eventually.
Yep, that ties into it.
So I could see that, but as far as writing and stuff like that goes, I don't know about that. Shout out to Colt. Last night in his show, he was talking with Mag about AI and the incredible chat GBT, which is scary as hell, but it's also really fun in the way that we could see interactions with NPCs. At least NPC interaction could be sort of, they could lay the groundwork for NPC interactions, and then again cater to what could be left out and what could stay, depending on what it comes up with, if that makes any sense.
So the example that a lot of people go to is often there's this Skyrim companion that I'm sure most people have seen. That's absolutely incredible. Like it is very impressive. This Skyrim NPC, which is powered
Inigo.
by BT. No, not Inigo.
Damn it.
I forgot the name of it, but she, or there's probably many of them now, but they will respond. You could be like standing outside Whiterun, and you could, with your voice, using a microphone, you talk to it, and it will respond. Like, yeah, I'm glad to be standing. Like, we have such a beautiful view standing on the battlements of Whiterun on this fine morning, and it'll tell you the time of day, and it'll recognize the characters that are around, and it recognizes exactly where you are. You'll be walking down the road, and it'll respond to if there's characters walking, it can recognize if they're bandits, if they're friendly, if it's a bard, if it's Maik the Liar standing on the side of the road. Like, it can understand all of that stuff and respond to it. And you can ask it questions like a person, and it will respond to that. And my stance on it is always like, that's amazing as a concept. Like, that is incredible that works. But if you actually listen to what's being said, how she's speaking, what she's doing, it's so unbelievably generic, and it's so uninspired, and it's not actually, if you were to push away the technology and you just said, all right, this is a character in a game that I am playing, it loses all of the impressiveness. The impressive fact comes that this is like a new technology that's very flashy and fun and cool, and that it can do these things, but it doesn't do them in a good way when you strip some of that down.
Right.
And then you look at, like, Starfield. I'm very passionate about this topic. You look at, like, Starfield, right? And people were arguing up until Starfield's launch. I was saying how I did not like the procedural generation. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't think it was a good move. And people were arguing with me, saying, "Oh, but you don't understand what procedural generation can do, and blah blah blah, and like it can do everything, and you don't get it." I'm like, "No, you don't get it. You don't understand, because it sounds super cool on paper, like it can do
so
all
loud.
these things, and it's this magic button that you push, and it just creates stuff, and like it's amazing." And like on paper it sounds really cool, but in practice it doesn't work the way it's advertised. And when it comes to things like, I don't know why you're laughing this hard at that, but
Because you like spit on.
You're just getting so animated over this.
I love it. I love it.
So when it comes to something like using AI to do this, like, yes, it's very impressive what it can do, but in practice, I don't think it will ever really live up to the expectations of what, like, on paper it's really cool, but in practice, it not so much. And so that's kind of where my concern ultimately lies with it. I think there's a lot of flash with no flavor.
Okay, Jonas, how do you feel about AI in video games? How can it be used positively, and what are the negatives, other than the fact that Nazim can be fully voiced?
Oh god, that's terrifying.
No.
Well, I agree with his initial point that it is a really scary technology, not just in video games, but in general. And I do have the same concerns in terms of what this will do for the creative processes, for how games are developed and written. I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because I think that while the stuff it's creating now might be generic, this thing that makes us scared of it and find it kind of crazy how it's come so far so quickly, that'll keep happening. And it may be generic now, but in a couple of years, who knows, right? And to me, the major concern is how will it affect like how teams are built up and how much money goes towards employing people. Like, will this actually take away jobs is more of my concern. And how will it affect like the team cohesion? Like, how will the teams be set up to work, you know?
Do you think we've already seen part of that, given the ridiculous amount of layoffs that's been taking place this year? Do you think some of that?
I don't know if I don't know if that's driven by AI necessarily, like how much of that is driven by AI. But I'm afraid it might continue to push that trend. Yeah.
Okay, Holly,
that's-
how do you feel about AI in video games?
I'm a little less skeptical about it, I guess, than you guys. And like how you, Damarco, how you were like, you're never gonna talk to me again after Call of Duty. You might never talk to me again after this. It's like, no, like I totally understand and appreciate like the opinion, right? And you know, I always seriously, anytime any of this stuff comes up, I always think of Skynet, right? But I think that as humans, right, we've gone through a lot of technological advances in the last 125 years, right? Think about where we were in like 1900 versus where we are now, right? It's been a huge, like, massive rolling like change all the time, right? So there's always been, anytime something new and big comes in, there's always a scare, right, about how automation or how these things are going to affect people. And it's a very valid concern, right? Because you don't want anybody to lose their job and then be stuck with a skill that's no longer viable for anyone else, right? That's a huge problem. However, my thought or my point is that, you know, as the world has evolved, humans have evolved, and traits and like skills and other things that we embody and how we learn to make our living, and right, like, we have to pivot with what's coming, and innovation is important, right? You don't want to stifle innovation. You need to find ways to work with it. So for me, it's not, obviously this has been a really, really bad year for layoffs in the gaming industry as a whole. I don't think it's because of AI. I think it's because of development cycles and other things, right? Consolidations or Embracer Group, like having too much debt and panicking, you know, those kinds of things, right? Like, I think that's why we've seen what we've seen this year. But I understand your concern. I just think that it's smarter to move and pivot and learn with it and find ways to make yourself invaluable with those types of new technologies than it is to boycott them or try to keep them removed from the industry.
Right. I also want to add on to that. I think a part of them acquiring or getting in, getting a hold of this technology isn't necessarily just for game development as a whole, but just being one of the companies that is on this ride with this technology along with all of the other big companies out there. So that might also be a big part of it. And yeah, I think the path forward definitely is to adapt and to find the way to use this technology creatively, to be a tool rather than a replacement.
Creative, because that's my one fear. Like, if you don't need to think creatively because the AI can do it for you, then
No, but so
I don't think that's ever going to be the case. It's not going to be like, you're not going to be like, hey, Google Bird. Whatever they're going to name it, right?
Write me a character. I think it's gonna be more like
exactly what they said they could do it for.
Sure, but I think
yes, yeah. Let me pull up the exact quote.
I think they're gonna be completely dependent on it. I think it's always gonna be like a starting point, right? Like
right. Give me a prompt of different ideas, and then you find the direction and you go in it, and then you become the driving force of it.
Give me a character that
it helps you spark ideas rather than yeah.
Turning prompts into detailed scripts, dialogue trees, quests, and more. An AI character runtime engine that can be integrated into the game client, enabling entirely new narratives with dynamically generated stories, quests, and dialogue for players to experience.
But that doesn't mean that whatever it spits out is going to be what you want. It's just going to be like, okay, here's a framework. But I don't want a dude that's short and 400 pounds. I want to put a character in there that's 6'3" and, you know, has 12 pack muscles and or whatever it is, right? Like,
hell yeah.
It's like you have an extremely amateur.
6 more.
You have an extremely amateur filmmaker coming and pitching their idea, and some producer is like, okay, that kind of sucks, but I like the core idea. Let me take that and do something with it.
Exactly. That's a really good point. Yeah.
I guess I just don't trust them to use it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Damarco, you're not exactly a trusting individual.
We talked about this post-show.
We started the conversation with this.
I do trust. I am very trusting, but I just see. I don't know. I look at like. It's not a one-to-one example, but I look at, for example, EA or Ubisoft. Or Ubisoft is a great example where they were pushing like their NFT quartz crap on gamers, and then basically tried to pretend that it didn't exist, and they flushed it away, even though they were saying like this is the future.
Oh yeah.
Everybody loves it and it's great, and they're trying to push this out like it's the new most amazing thing in the world, and it turns out that the only people that bought it was like the developers' grandmas, because they felt bad and they wanted to say, I got what you bought, Shani, and it was like literally about 10 or 12 purchases. So I see companies doing that kind of stuff, and you know, when they say, hey, we're not going to overutilize it, obviously there's the possibility it won't be, and maybe I'm being too skeptical, but I also see a world in which, you know, they say, no, we're paying a lot of money for this, so you're going to use it. And oh, you can inject this entire character with as written, enables entire new narratives integrated into the game client with dynamically generated stories, quests, and dialogue. So that doesn't say to me, hey, it's supplemental and like we can poke around with it and we're getting ideas. That says to me, hey, just imagine if we have this entire part of the game that's just driven by AI, which is very similar to procedural generation, just on a much deeper level. And then they just say, no, we got all that AI content in the game to fluff out worlds. And there's already a problem with game bloat. There's already problems with uninteresting quest lines because they are just filler. Go pick up 10 of these flowers. Go kill this random bandit. Go do this other boring thing that's not very interesting. Go clear this cave. And AI can do that a step further, and again, on paper great, but in practice, I'm just less.
So
I have infinitely less faith that it'll be used responsibly.
Here's a perfect world example. Like, I'm an engineer, right? So
I'm just less.
When I want to design something,
I have infinitely less faith that,
you know, at first you start on paper. You start on paper in theory, right? But ideally use AutoCAD. Like, I'm an engineer to draw and design, and there's tools in there that help you draw a pipe at a certain slope or do whatever, right? And it's in there and you can turn it, you can twist it, you can look at it, figure out where there's good drainage and bad drainage and things like that. Now, we still have jobs for hand drafters because I work for the government and like they're legacy positions, right? But in no real world would I ever go to somebody who used to draft very well by hand and do fantastically, right? But in no way would I ever go to him and say, please draw this for me. In my head, it looks like this. Or draw some pipes that have this slope or whatever. And then draw in the trees that are there that I need to work around or whatever, right? Like, drafting technology, right, has essentially replaced hand drafters. And you wouldn't just go to somebody and tell them to put it in the computer this way. You do it yourself because on the fly you can make those changes. It doesn't make sense to go to somebody, hand them paper, and say, put this in the computer, and then they print it out and give it back to you on paper, right? Like there's a lot of steps there that are unnecessary and add a lot of time to all of the things. That's how I kind of look at what they're doing here. Does that make sense? Is that way too like real worldy and not really like?
That's the perfect amount of real world.
I love that. I love that. I'm sorry if I look like I'm having something going on. I'm trying to.
If it's my sound again, I saw people commenting about my
it's
sound.
my
Oh, you're
screen.
louder now.
It's my
yeah,
screen.
my microphone keeps deciding to put me at 27 volume or input volume. I don't know why. It wants me to be quiet. So I'm talking too much. So Assassin, why don't you do your thing?
Yeah, Assassin, tell me about your stuff.
Unless
man.
you have other thoughts, because you've been silent.
Not really. I mean, there's really nothing that I could say other than the fact that I don't really see a use for AI in video game development. I could see what Holly was saying earlier, that maybe it would like build the foundation and maybe game developers could stem from there, but at the same time, if video game developers at some point in the future they want to make AI the main way they make games, there's really only one thing that we as consumers can do, and that's just not play and buy it. Like, Damarco, you said it yourself, and I agree with you there. Artwork is nothing without the touch of human passion behind it, and if we're just going straight into full-on AI, do everything, do what I tell you, do what I type in you, then that's not the type of future that I want to have. Now, Matt Booty, I think he did say this last year, that he wanted to use AI to like maybe more of quality assurance more than using it for storytelling. But at the same time, the one thing that I'm mainly concerned about AI in video game development is the lack of how do I say this efficiently? We're already losing a lot of game devs as it is with the layoffs. Are we really sure that we want to add more to it? Like if you go into work tomorrow and say, "Hey, we got this AI program and robot that can do your job. We no longer need you." How does that affect you as a person? I don't support full-on AI development, but I could see its uses for it. Like you said, Damarco, I can see the advertisement for it, but I have yet to see, like, personally, the execution, how it could be done right now and in the future. So right now, I'm not all for AI.
And I just want to add on that I think the best games will always rise to the top with consumers. And if games made with AI in a way that sort of loses a certain quality that it would have if it was made not using AI in a particular way, those games will not rise to the top. And the games that do use that, let's call it the human touch, will remain the most relevant one. Yeah, I know, but still. You know, FOMO is the thing. So.
You know the new in the title? Can
Yeah.
hardly hear me again?
What is it? Chat can't hear you?
Like EA refused to buy the license to FIFA again because FIFA was trying to screw them. So they just called it like EA Sports Club or something, and it sold record numbers even without the FIFA title. So people were saying like, oh, it's not gonna like it won't do as well, but it did. It literally has done better.
But when you have a bunch of gambling addicts as gamers, it's not that hard.
I don't
That's
know.
Counter-Strike.
That's true.
The knife, man. I
that's-
need the knife.
Oh man.
Oh, that's literally what I just said, and I'm saying that as a Siege player that can't get away from it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm kind of a hypocrite when I say that there. But hey, at least I admit it. 2K
Yeah,
and Madden players just can't.
But yeah, I'm also excited to see like for a very long time now we've had a lot of issues with AAA development being sort of bloated and stagnated, and they're not the same games as the games the studios made when they were younger, right? So I'm interested to see now that we have sort of these sort of all of these people who were at the very beginning of studios sort of moving out and starting their own studios and creating new things. I'm interested to see, will those recapture that sort of passion that
Has
got us into
anybody-
those studios to begin with?
Oh, continue.
And-
Go ahead.
And if so, I think that will be sort of a testament to what would happen if studios try and screw devs over with replacing them with AI, as you say, and then those devs would probably move on and do their own thing and hopefully outcompete the studios that drove them out.
Has anyone tried Immortals of Avium? Because that's like a prime example of what you're talking about. Is
Yes,
that was a
yes, and I
studio-
feel yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
just gonna say
exactly
that
that.
game.
Like a
That
studio
game is
that
the
was made
most
by-
unique. Yeah, that game is the most unique game this year, and a lot of people didn't play it. A first-person magic shooter, like, what other studio has ever done that? Like, the last game that I could think that people
Hexen.
have talked about was like maybe Hexen,
Hexen.
Heretic, but it's been years since those type of games have came out. So when Immortals of Avium started coming around, started marketing, started showing off the gameplay, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in. And it sucks that the game didn't perform so well. It's just, if they had released Immortals of Avium sometime earlier this year, or maybe even
Mhm.
next year,
Mm-hmm.
like putting it right between Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, that it screwed it. It
Yeah,
screwed
and
it up majorly.
Yeah,
Already
that
a
was-
year
it's-
full of
it's-
other bangers as well, so.
But was it a good game
It's
though?
definitely
Because if it,
It
was
was.
not, okay. Because
yeah,
you know if
for
it
me,
isn't that
definitely the
great
most
or it's
interesting and
mid,
underrated game.
then they like squeeze it in between two good games anyway, just to like.
Yeah.
I think they do that to sort of soften the backlash on it, because it got backlash anyway, right? Because wasn't it running at like 720p?
No, that I didn't hear about
No,
it.
that was
Yeah.
a different game.
Are you sure? I feel like
Yeah, I
it
followed
had.
Immortals of Avium
Mm.
since it announced, and there was no mention of 720p at all.
Hmm.
Not for Immortals. It may have been something else in the month, but
Hmm.
no, not for Immortals of Avium.
But not to zone in on one specific game. Assassin,
Mhm.
didn't you mention you were playing the finals beta?
Yes, I did. And fun fact, the finals beta, or not the beta, the game is actually made by former Battlefield devs from DICE. So, yeah, I agree with what you guys have said earlier. People that leave the studios that we once loved and making studios of their own, and just making games that we used to love back in the day, those are the types of studios that I've said before. Those are the studios that we, as an industry, should keep an eye on. Like I mentioned a few weeks ago, Casey Hudson's studio, he's the one that made, or he was one of the brainchilds who made Mass Effect. He has his own studio, Humanoid. I think they just rebranded the studio's name, as a matter of fact, and he's working on another sci-fi shooter.
Anyway, where's Red?
So, I don't know how to feel.
Red died and I killed him. Is that a problem?
I've been struggling for the past like 25 minutes trying to figure out what is happening, but that's just because my It's just because. It's just how it happens. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's fine. Well, look, if that's the worst thing that can happen, then I am happy. I'm happy. So you know what, Assassin? Did you have something else? Did you find something fun on the internet that you wanted to share with everyone?
Oh, like a fun fact or like a topic?
Yeah, something fun and silly and sexy. You know.
Well, I do have a topic, but at the same time, I do have fun fact for you, Red. Actually,
Let's go for the fun fact. 'Cause we're running out of time, and it looks like I'm disappearing like Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
It's heavy.
yeah, it's fair.
What's happening, Doc? Oh my God.
Yeah. So, fun fact. Recently found this out. Red, did you know that the same voice actor who played Hugo in A Plague Tale, he voiced one of the main characters in Final Fantasy 16 because of his role in A Plague Tale?
Really? Is it a child?
Yeah, it was the child voice actor who played Hugo. He got the
But-
role because some of the producers, they played A Plague Tale, and they were so captivated by his performance as Hugo, they gave him the role of Joshua Rossfield in Final Fantasy 16, literally on the spot.
That's amazing. I love that. I love stuff like that. That kid.
Yeah, it just
Nailed
goes to
it.
show that Japanese devs play Western games.
was that your point? I love it.
Well, that
Love
was a
it.
point to Zemi, but yes.
Okay, he's watching. He's here somewhere. I think. I'm sorry you guys can't see me.
No,
I don't know
he's
how to
not.
fix it. This is just how it happens when you have a 1650 instead of a 4090. Yeah, anyone else have some fun facts? Just random. Doesn't it have to be gaming
Jonas has
related?
tons of fun facts. He tells me them all the time.
Jonas,
Tell
tell
me
me
one
a
of
them,
fun
Jonas.
fact. Just about anything.
I don't actually have any fun facts. I've told them all already to Damarco.
Ah, that's
But
true.
you haven't
did
told
tell me
them
the other
to
day that
me,
you were running
and you haven't told them to the
Yeah, I was
audience.
running low.
low on facts.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
Somebody send that man a book.
In all honesty, I'm just too tired to come up with anything. I'm 6 hours ahead of you guys.
Yeah, you live in
so,
the future. Yeah, so
I do.
tell
And
us
we get
something-
we get tired faster in the future.
tell us something from the future. Why does my volume keep it's because I get really loud. It's trying to make sure I don't break.
It's trying to
things, I
make
guess.
sure.
Tell us something, some fun. It's just whenever I talk too loud, it automatically lowers the volume. Tell us some fun facts about the future. What happens 6 hours from now? What's gonna happen to Red and his channel?
Oh man, you don't want to know. You
There
don't
you
want
go,
to know.
Red. You heard it from Jonas first. He is in the future, so he knows.
I mean, I'm ready. I'm prepared. Nazim is watching. Nazim's ready.
No, I am watching. I've taken Nazim's place, remember?
Okay, well,
Because I got no
Nazim
camera.
is watching. Nazim is always ready, always prepared. Okay, well look, guys, I think we did it. I think I'm afraid that I'm so afraid that my computer's gonna crash right now. So, little backwards. Sorry, let me look at the. Let me turn that off. There we go. Hey, look, everyone in chat, thank you all so much for being here. This was so much fun, and it worked out almost exactly like I wanted to, tech-wise. As far as the panel goes, I could not have asked for anything better. I wish that this was just the way that we could do it forever, but it's like, what, 3 a.m. for Jonas.
No, that's in freedom
Same.
time. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh, that's right. See,
Freedom.
he's not used to freedom. You could have left anytime that you wanted.
America.
But you didn't know that because you're not used to.
Because you're not used to having so much freedom.
So much freedom, exactly.
Yes, America, the only country in the world with freedom. Let's just forget
Yeah.
about the 180 other countries that have it.
I forgot.
Listen. When I get in my freedom car and go to the freedom gas station and go to my freedom job for my freedom pay, I just understand that I'm living in freedom, and I don't think
Dude.
other people understand what that's really
Don't
like.
forget about your popcorn, man. Like
That's
you were
right.
able to just
Freedom.
basically
Yeah,
get
the
that.
freedom
like,
bag.
My freedom bag of popcorn with my freedom helmet
And your
with
freedom
my,
nachos,
and my
and your freedom
N7
queso.
jacket with my freedom microphone. It's just all, and then
Come on down to Freedom Burger.
I
Get
am
your
starting to
Freedom
get kind of
Burger
envious of all
toast
that freedom.
That's so much freedom you got there, bro. How do you handle all that freedom? Jonas.
If anybody who didn't get the full context ever jumped in, it would just look like a bunch of Americans bullying a Scandinavian for having freedom that he has already.
Yeah.
clip it.
Dude.
Pretty much.
I don't have that kind of freedom popcorn. We don't have that.
He has to go buy
It's
like
just-
12 bags.
I
is the
have to
equivalent.
buy at least 2 bags to get that kind of freedom.
They're like, no, sir. You may only have one.
No.
Yeah, we have a shortage.
I love that.
We have a
No,
popcorn
would you like
shortage
to-
over here.
Would you like the freedom caramel popcorn or the freedom cheddar popcorn?
for even no, they get one
You
flavor.
can choose.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Juice?
You get reindeer
They
flavor.
give
That's
you-
it.
Oh my god. I love
You don't
it.
just get like
enjoy your slightly
government
buttered-
handout popcorn and it's just one type. Making it sound like I'm living in like the Soviet Union or something.
Well, I wish I could. I know that you guys can see me, but I don't know how the hell to put my shit
Actually,
back.
we can.
I mean, Jonas, if Russia had it their way, you would.
That's fine.
I was gonna say they tried. They tried. Right.
Well, it was the other guys who tried during that war. They actually came down and helped in the north, but yeah, whatever.
Which,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah, we know. what
which
it
other guys, Jonas? There was 3 during that war. People forget
Wh-
there's
wh-
there was
which
3.
war are you talking about?
Anyway, Red, you want to close out the
Go
show?
play Call of Duty. They'll tell you all about it.
is.
Right.
Let me see if I can.
Historically accurate.
I can't fix anything. So no one can see me.
I
Which
don't
is
think there
probably
was
good.
ever a Call of Duty campaign in Italy during World War II, if I recall. I don't think there was one.
It's Call of Duty. So Holly, thank you so much for joining us. Tell everyone where you can be found. Who are you? Where are you? That kind of stuff. What are you going to be playing? Are you going to be finishing Call of Duty? Going to put another solid 10 hours in it? Showing the internet who's boss?
Don't know about that part, but I am that blue number on every gaming platform and also Twitter. You should follow me because I retweet a lot of dog posts that are probably annoying, but I don't care because
Oh.
dogs are fun and silly, and cat posts because cats are assholes, but yet highly
Yes.
amusing. And I am on Xbox pretty much every day because and I'm gonna finish Call of Duty tonight. Damn it. And then I'm gonna play multiplayer this weekend. Damn it. And
Hang on. I'm just gonna keep talking. Okay, someone say something. All right, look. So here's what I can't hear anything or anyone, but I hope that you can hear me. Let me see. This is good. This is good. So my earbud died, so I can't hear anything, and nothing is changing, and I love it so much. I love this so much. Oh wait, let me just do this. Let me just do this. This is good. This is good. Jonas. Oh man, where can you be found? Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Assassin, what? Okay, I can still be heard. Assassin, you know what? That's it. I can't even look. This is the best. This is exactly what I wanted. This is gonna be the show from now on, just where, oh my god, I'm back on video. How the fuck did I get back on video? All right, that's it. I'm gonna link everyone in. It's so weird. I can like hear something and it's throwing me off when I try to talk. I don't know what the hell's happening. This is the best. Look, goodbye everyone.